Hi everyone. In this video, we are going to talk about a very important topic under the heading of electrochemistry. And the topic for this video is method to determine standard electrode potential. Now, one thing that you must remember, what is standard electrode potential? You must remember standard electrode potential is the ability of an electrode to undergo oxidation or reduction under standard conditions. The ability of an element, the ability of an electrode to undergo oxidation or reduction under standard conditions is known as standard electrode potential. And whenever an element it undergoes an electrode or an element undergoes oxidation or reduction, some charge is created on that electrode, and that charge is known as electrode potential. And that charge it can be measured by using an instrument that is known as voltmeter. Which type of voltmeter we use? We use high resistance voltmeter, so that minimum amount of voltage or current is wasted. Okay, what we do whenever we want to determine standard electrode potential of an element, one terminal of the voltmeter it is always connected to our reference electrode. What is the reference electrode that we commonly use in chemistry? The reference electrode is always standard hydrogen half cell, standard hydrogen electrode, because the electrode potential of standard hydrogen half cell it has been assumed to be zero volt. So that is why a reference electrode it is used to complete the external circuit, and it completes the external circuit by connecting itself to the one terminal of the voltmeter. So what we do with this one terminal of the voltmeter, we will connect standard hydrogen half cell. How standard hydrogen half cell is connected? We take a beaker, we take a solution of hydrogen ion like HCl solution having a concentration of 1 mole per dm cube. And since hydrogen it is a non-metal, it is a non-conductor, so which metal used as a conductor? Platinum foil. And this platinum foil it is coated with powdered platinum to increase the surface area, for increasing the rate of reaction. This platinum foil is connected to a wire, and wire is connected to one terminal of the voltmeter. Other problem, hydrogen is a gas. Gases are difficult to contain since they spread out, they diffuse. So what we do whenever we want to construct half cell for any gas or liquid, we use some special type of glass container. This glass container helps to contain gases and liquids while constructing a half cell. So what we do, we fill in this glass container by using an automated valve at this opening, and we fill in hydrogen gas at a temperature of 25 degrees Celsius and 1 atm pressure. Now you can see one terminal of the voltmeter it has been connected to hydrogen half cell. What we do to the other terminal of the voltmeter, the other terminal is connected to the half cell of that element whose electrode potential we want to determine. Like in this example we are going to determine standard electrode potential for element zinc. So on the other side we will place zinc half cell, and we will connect the second terminal of the voltmeter to the zinc half cell. Now what will happen? As I have told you, we have assumed the electrode potential of hydrogen half cell is 0 volt, and when we will complete this setup, voltmeter will show some reading. The deflection shown by the needle of the voltmeter will be the potential of the zinc, since voltmeter gives a potential difference, and potential difference between hydrogen half cell and zinc half cell will be the potential of zinc, because potential of hydrogen is assumed 0 volt. Now we let's place zinc half cell on the other side. How you will construct zinc half cell? You can take a beaker and zinc ionic solution having a concentration of 1 mole per dm cube. Zinc is a metal, so we can dip in zinc metal, and this zinc metal rod or electrode it can be connected to the other terminal of the voltmeter. Now you can see we have placed the two half cells, and externally the circuit has been completed. But what is the problem? Internally there is no link between the two half cells, so the circuit is not completed. How we complete the internal circuit? Internal circuit is completed by using a salt bridge. This is salt bridge. Now what is salt bridge? I will give you its description a bit later part of this video. Before that, now once you have set up this whole apparatus, now your apparatus is ready to find the voltage, to find the potential difference, and that potential difference will be the standard electrode potential of zinc. Now one more thing you must remember, if we compare zinc with the hydrogen, zinc is a reactive metal. Reactive metals, they can undergo the process of oxidation easily. So what will happen in this case, zinc half cell will undergo oxidation, and whenever a half cell it undergoes oxidation, that electrode, that half cell, it act as an anode in the electrochemical cell, and this half cell it would carry negative charge. Compared to zinc, the hydrogen half cell will have to become cathode, where reduction will take place, and it would carry positive charge. Now you can also write down equations right below each half cell, that zinc would be oxidized, zinc metal, it would be oxidized by the loss of electron, it will become zinc ion, while hydrogen ions, they will gain electron and they will be converted into hydrogen gas. Now one last thing that you must remember to complete this setup, it is to show the direction of flow of electron. Always remember, direction of flow of electron is from oxidation to reduction, from anode to cathode. So you must draw the arrow in this direction, from anode to cathode. Now this is the complete setup, and this is the complete method diagram to determine standard electrode potential for element zinc. Now this diagram, it is the answer if ever someone asks what is an outline. Outline means you will have to present this label diagram for the method to determine standard electrode potential. But sometimes besides this outline, we are also interested in the description of the process. What is the description? Description is simply you have to write down the steps that are involved in the construction of this whole setup. Now what three steps you can remember to give a description for this method to determine standard electrode potential? Step number one, you must write down the two half cells are set up next to each other. Step number two, the two half cells are connected internally by using salt bridge. Step number three, standard electrode potential is determined by using high resistance voltmeter without drawing any significant amount of current. I repeat, first step is the two half cells are set up next to each other. The two half cells are connected internally by using salt bridge, and standard electrode potential is determined by using high resistance voltmeter without drawing any significant amount of current. Now after that, I told you I will explain what is salt bridge and what is the importance of salt bridge. Let's look at what is salt bridge and what is the importance of salt bridge. One thing you must remember as far as the construction of salt bridge is concerned, salt bridge is a U-shaped inverted glass tube. It is a U-shaped inverted glass tube, and it contains a mixture, a solution of a strong electrolyte. What can be the strong electrolyte? It can be sodium nitrate, potassium chloride, or any other electrolyte that dissolves completely. And the important thing that you must remember, this electrolyte is dissolved in some solvent other than water, like we use a polar gel. Why we use gel in this case? If suppose we use aqueous solution, what can happen when we will invert the glass tube? What can happen? All the aqueous solution, water solution, it can pour out. So that is why we use gel solvent, since gel is sticky in nature, so it not only keeps itself within the salt bridge inverted glass tube, but it also keeps electrolytes ions stuck within the glass tube, so the ions cannot come out of the glass tube easily. So this is the purpose of the using gel. Next thing you must also remember, that the both the ends of the salt bridge glass tube, they are plugged, they are closed by using porous cotton wool. Why we use porous cotton wool? Because we need migration of ions from the salt bridge into the half cell, and from the half cell into the salt bridge. So for that purpose we use porous cotton wool, and that porous cotton wool, it is used to plug both ends of the salt bridge. Now what is the purpose of salt bridge? Why salt bridge? It is used commonly for this method. You can remember three different functions. The third one is most important. First function, it provides electrical contact between two half cell. Second one, salt bridge, it avoids mixing of the solutions of the two half cell. And the third function that is most important, salt bridge, it maintains electrical neutrality of each half cell. What is electrical neutrality? Electrical neutrality means that electron lost by a half cell, they must be equal to electron gained. Why it is so? It is so, electrical neutrality is important in increasing the lifespan of a cell. If half cell is not electrically neutral, then the cell can expire quickly. So what does this mean? Let me give you an explanation for this. Look, in this case, zinc half cell, it is undergoing oxidation. Oxidation mean zinc plate, it is getting negative charge. So the plate, it gets negative and negative charge. Greater negative charge, what can happen due to the building of greater negative charge? That the negative charge start going out of the half cell. Electrons, they move out of the zinc half cell. These electrons go out of the zinc half cell and they start entering into the cathode hydrogen half cell. Now what is happening? Zinc is losing electron, hydrogen is gaining electron. If this process keeps on taking place, within seconds, what can happen? Zinc half cell can become electron deficient, and hydrogen half cell, it can become electron rich, and the cell can expire within seconds. Now what happens, to avoid this, to prolong the lifespan of the cell, what we do, this salt bridge, it plays an important role. When electrons are lost by zinc and electrons are gained by hydrogen, what happens? This part of the salt bridge, it acts as anode where oxidation takes place. Electrons are lost at this part of the salt bridge, and these electrons, they are taken by the ions present in the salt bridge, and those ions migrate toward the other half cell, and when they reach here, this part of the salt bridge, it becomes cathode. At cathode, reduction takes place and electrons are gained by the half cell. Now what you can see? You can see electrons are lost by zinc plate, gained by hydrogen half cell, lost to salt bridge, gained by the zinc half cell back. So number of electron lost, it is equal to number of electron gained. So in this way, the half cell remains electrically neutral and cell can remain functional for a longer period of time. Now some people among you might be thinking, then why, after all, ultimately a cell expires? What is the reason? A cell ultimately expires because anode, it has a limit, it has a saturation point. After that, anode cannot undergo further oxidation. So cells expire not due to electrical neutrality, rather cells, they expire when their anode is consumed maximum. So this information you must remember, why and how electrical neutrality is maintained. One more thing, some people also argue that why we cannot use something else, like we may use a metal wire instead of a salt bridge. There are two common reasons you can remember why metal wire cannot be a best option, a best alternative to the salt bridge. Number one, metal wire can be reactive. Metal wire can create its own potential and the reading shown by the voltmeter can become uncertain. Second thing, the most important reason why we cannot use the metal wire instead of salt bridge, metals, they conduct, they show conduction through migration of electrons, but electrical neutrality, it can only be maintained through migration of ions. So second reason you can remember, metal wire cannot be used instead of salt bridge because metal wire cannot help in maintaining electrical neutrality. Okay, this is the information that you must remember for the method to determine standard electrode potential. Always remember, whenever you are asked for the question, for the information, to give an answer for the method, in the method, one half cell is always standard hydrogen half cell. That is the reference electrode. But if ever you see somewhere a question asked like this, to give an outline for an electrochemical cell containing zinc and copper half cell. Now in this case, you can see both the half cells have already been given in the question. So in this case, simply you will have to identify that one half cell must be of zinc and other half cell must be of copper, and they must be connected to the voltmeter, internal connection by salt bridge, and you must decide anode and cathode. In this case, there is no need to use standard hydrogen half cell. So what you will do in this case, when you are giving an outline, a label diagram, on one side you will sketch zinc half cell, copper half cell, connect both of them to the voltmeter, high resistance voltmeter, salt bridge for internal connection. In this case, since copper is less reactive, copper will undergo reduction, while zinc is more reactive, zinc must undergo oxidation. So in this case, zinc will become anode where oxidation will take place and zinc will get negative charge. Compared to zinc, copper will undergo reduction, it will become cathode, it would get positive charge. And what will be the direction of flow of electron in this case? From zinc to copper, from anode to cathode, from oxidation to reduction. I hope you would have enjoyed this lecture. Thank you for your time. Bye bye.